Do you want to do the intro with me?
Do your intro?
Yeah, hello everybody, what is up? What is it? You know that thing? You got that?
I've seen you do it, but I don't know if I can do it
You
the
can
same.
do it.
Okay, we could give it a try, I guess.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Hello
Hello.
everybody.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Hello everybody, what is up? What is new and how are you? Hi guys, it is so good to see you. Today I have Akira with me here to talk about the experience on the train. People were rooting for you a lot. People really, really wanted you to win it all. I mean, all of the people who watch my channel were like, "Oh no, we got to cheer for Akira since Corn's out." So, what do you have to say to the people?
First off, I really, really appreciate all the love and support from the last episode. I know you guys wanted me to win the 5 million, but I'm sure as you saw, I was trying to help someone else win it. And in the end, here I am, eliminated from the games. And yeah, this episode was really, really tough on me.
Yeah, that it was a brutal one. Why don't you kind of take me through when it starts, you get picked, right? First. You're the first one picked as the captain.
Yeah, so we get blindfolded. They walk us down the train tracks. We have no idea what's going to happen. They tell us to take the bags off of our heads, and Jimmy announces, "Welcome to the elimination train." And you just see this big black and red train. It looks absolutely sick. We look to our right, and there's a bunch of dummies that have our jersey numbers on them. And then we realize that the train is going to be eliminating some people. Now, we don't know how it's going to do that exactly. We just know that some people are going to get ran over by a train. When we look down the tracks, you can see that it goes in two different directions. One set of tracks completely empty, and the other set of tracks has a car-shaped object covered by a tarp. It's very much looking like a sports car of some kind. You can put two and two together. It's probably the Lamborghini that everyone has been waiting to see. And then Jimmy basically says we're going to be playing the trolley problem. It is a real life problem, and we basically were going to play a live action version of it.
Yep. That's right. They wanted you to pick captains, right?
Yeah, so Jimmy said that we're going to pick a captain. We were able to self-nominate ourselves, or if we were nominated by someone, we could choose to accept the nomination. And right after they announced that we're going to pick our first captain, I think it was Patrick or Colton that started off by saying, like, Kira did something really, really big last episode with taking down the Habibi brothers, and I feel like we can trust him and he should be captain. So we put it to a vote. I think the only other person that wanted to throw their hat in the ring was Dino, but I think when he realized that the majority of the people were going to choose me, it was pretty much unanimous.
Did you tell people that you were not going to eliminate people?
So I didn't tell anybody that I wouldn't eliminate people.
Okay.
In the back of my head, I knew that most likely what was going to happen was that I would be given a choice. I knew in some fashion that I would have control of taking people out of the game. And with that control, I knew that my friends that I wanted to keep in the game, I could give them a chance of moving forward
Right.
by getting rid of players.
Right.
So as soon as I got picked as captain, I kind of knew you're going to get blood on your hands somehow. I knew you're going to be put in a position where you're going to have to just be like, not necessarily cutthroat, but you're going to have to get your hands dirty. When I got up there, Jimmy explained I would be in charge of the lever and I'd have a minute to decide which side of the tracks it went on. And then they uncovered the Lamborghini and he told me, "Akira, this is your brand new Lamborghini. It is yours to keep as long as you want it. All yours. You've won it. Congratulations." But like, I'm also putting two and two together that there's some stakes behind it. Like, I'm going to get a Lamborghini, but I'm probably going to have to do something pretty crazy to get it. And that's where I started realizing that I'm in like a tough spot because I just turned down 50K to prove a point, and then I wasn't there for the money. And now I'm probably going to be stuck with a decision where I have to choose between money and potentially getting rid of people. So that's where I started to get emotional myself because I'm like, I never wanted to have to make a decision like that in a new part of the game. So Jimmy announces what the first round is, and he says, "Kira, you're going to name your three least favorite players from the ones that are down there." Before we even got through the tracks, we were in the city. They had us take a survey, and in the survey, we could choose to write it however we wanted to. But basically, they said, here are the top 21 players. Please rank them from who you most want to win to who you least want to win. Be any order you choose, but you're going to write it down. And they also told us that some of the answers you put may or may not get used against you later on. So when I did my survey, I did it based on who do I want to win? My friends, based on conversations I had with them, just how well I knew other players. I knew right away, nothing personal, but I was going to put Mia at the very bottom because she won the island. I felt that there were 20 other people who obviously didn't win an island that deserved to win the 5 million more than she did. So I was like, if she goes home as number 21, like she gonna be fine. She's got a whole 1.8 million that she just won. I don't think she's gonna be as devastated losing out on 5 million as some people might. And I wanted to stick true to the survey because I was worried they would use it against us in some way. And I didn't want to lie. I wanted to be truthful to everyone. So I called up Mia, Moniz, and I called up Kia. It was nothing personal with any of them. Everyone that was there, fully deserving of winning the $5 million. And not to even say that Mia didn't deserve it, but she was number one on my list because she won the island, the most fierce competitor that was left. With Moniz and Kia, I had one conversation with Moniz on the island. Not that it was a bad conversation. With Kia, I just met her after the Chance Challenge. I didn't even know Mia that well, to be honest. I only met her really after the Chance Challenge as well. So people I just knew the least.
Obviously, it's gonna look not great seeing 3 women of color go out in the first round. I want to make this very clear. I have nothing against people of color at all. I have nothing against women. There were people in my top 10 that were also women, and a mix of people of color too. So I don't want anyone to think that I'm racist or that I'm sexist, because I genuinely am not. The relations I had with people is what mattered the most in that game for me. People are entitled to their opinions, however they want to view me, but I know that I got my friends as far as I could, and hate me or love me, I wouldn't change any way that I played the game. So
Jimmy tells me that they're going to go on the opposite side of the Lambo. And then he said, the train's going to come. You're going to have 1 minute to decide. Eliminate these 3 players and you keep your Lambo, or do you destroy your Lambo and save these 3 players? I'm in a bit of a pickle because I don't want to seem greedy because I'm picking a Lambo, but there's 21 of us. We have to get down to the top 10. If I get rid of 3 people, you only have to get rid of 8 more. And it's a chance to help get your friends through.
Yeah.
It really tore me up. I was so emotional. I couldn't stop feeling so horrible because I knew I could save the 3 of them. I don't need a Lamborghini. That's not what I'm here for. But I also know if I destroy the Lambo, their 3 are all safe. But we're still going to have to do this all over again. We're going to keep doing this till we get down to the top 10.
Clarify for me. Did he say that you needed to get down to the top 10 in this game?
In this game, we would go down to the top 10. They didn't tell us how many rounds there would be.
Okay.
They just said that we will continue until we have 10 left.
Exactly. Okay. I feel like that is so important. I don't know how much they're going to, because this is being recorded beforehand. I don't know if they're going to explain that enough, but the fact that you have to get down to the top 10, I feel like that is completely fair. Not only are you going home with money because you have a lot of money if you choose the Lambo, but you're also making sure the people that you want to make it forward have the best shot that they possibly can. That makes total sense. That makes 100% sense.
Yeah. So, train's coming. They're playing for their game. Understandable. And Mia was pissed. And I totally get it. I don't fault any of them for being mad at me. I'm literally taking away their dream of winning $5 million for a Lamborghini. But I was also telling myself, you're doing this for people that you do want to move on. You are helping get the numbers down. And yeah, you're going to get blood on your hands, but you can get through this. It's going to be tough. So I've pulled a lever, saved the Lamborghini, and it eliminates the 3 ladies. I felt so bad. I was in tears. I've never. It was really, really brutal. So yeah, I won a Lamborghini. Still doesn't feel real. It's pretty crazy because I competed for a Lambo on Jimmy's YouTube channel and I lost it. And
look at you now.
I won it. I have a Lamborghini now, so that's a pretty insane moment for me, I guess. Pretty full circle. So still hasn't really hit me. It's really cool. It's great. I'm gonna have this massive prize that I won, but I think still sucks the way I got it.
Yeah, that's tough.
So then we move on to round number 2. It's just so brutal. I thought the red cubes were bad.
No,
the red cubes were pretty bad, but this episode for me was just oh, go punch. I was Ugh. And the general consensus is if I'm willing to go up again, people have my back. And this time when we see the tracks, there's a Tesla on one side and the other track's empty. So kind of realizing that, hey, it's going to be another offer. At first glance, I'm I'm not taking a Tesla. I'm not getting rid of people for a Tesla. That's ridiculous. I just want a Lambo. So if this is a round where I save people, I'm going to save people. I step forward. Beth also steps forward. and then Queen. You know, Beth kind of put two and two together that she probably wasn't in my top 10. I mean, I barely ever talked to her, so she was smart for that. And then Queen was just unsure. She wanted to change things up. Not that she didn't trust me, but she just wasn't sure where my head was at, and she wanted to maybe have some more control herself.
I see. That
Um,
makes sense.
so we put it to a vote again. It was majority me, so I knew I was going up again. I thought I was going to have a chance to not make up for the last round, but maybe to help some people. And so Jimmy asked me to name my three least favorite players. I went down the list again. Who did I have where? So I call up Jessica, Nelly, and Eric. Again, nothing personal with any of them. I just knew them less than other people, or I had better connections with other people. They have them line up in front of the Tesla. And I'm like, huh? Then on the other side, they took my favorite player, and it was Colton, and they put him on the other side. So they say, your best friend in the game, or these three players and a Tesla. The choice is yours. And for me, I'm like, I don't want to get rid of Colton. I'm here to help him win $5 million. I don't want to get more blood on my hands, but I also don't want a Tesla. Like, I'm not here for the money. And I would get three more players out. That cuts it down to 15 people left. And we only need 10 to be done with the game. So I realized I'm going to get blood on my hands again. Because the first round was so hard, I didn't want someone else to have to do it. And that might seem selfish because I'm getting all the control again. But it was just so tough on me that I couldn't imagine putting anyone else through that. So when they sent the train down, I saved Colton and I got rid of Nelly, Jessica, and Eric in the Tesla. So now we're down to the final 15. You know, Colton's safe. And I think this is where, like, maybe I screwed him over a little bit because now he has a bit more of a target on his back.
It's so silly,
Now that they
though. He
know.
didn't do anything.
Yeah, just because he was my number one, he was guaranteed to be good as long as I was captain. So then this is where things get interesting. Because up until that point, I thought I'm in good standing with everyone. I got rid of 6 people that I didn't have as big of a connection with, and there's 15 of us left. I guess some people just didn't think I had them in my top 10, or they didn't have friends that were in my top 10. I could tell people exactly what my top 10 was. I had Colton at number 1, Queen at number 2, JC was number 3, Emma was number 4. I put myself at 5. Maybe it's a little selfish, but I wanted to win too. I had Jeff
I
at
feel
6.
like everybody probably put themselves as number one, Akira. I think you're good.
Who knows? Jeff was 6, Patrick was 7, Gage was 8, Yessie was 9, and I had Tawana at 10. And that was my top 10.
Oh, wow.
I had good connections with all those people, or I'd worked with them. Jeff, Patrick, and Gage. We all had mutual respect for each other. We had good talks. I don't know what else I can say about Colton, Queen, JC, and Emma. I love all of them. If I had to pick anybody to win the whole thing over me, it was any of them. Yessie and Tawana were very nice to me after the mental challenge, especially after I lost to you. They knew how tough that was on me.
Oh.
So they were really there for me. And, I felt like they deserved to be in the final 10. And, it is tough, too, because Dino was the captain that saved me. Me and Dino were always cool, but I just didn't get as strong of a connection with him as I did with the others. And then everyone else in the game, it was just like either I knew them or I didn't know them.
Yeah.
It was really hard to juggle, like, where I put people on the list.
That makes sense.
If I'm going in that order from 21 to the top 10, if they don't feel that comfortable with me, they need to change things up, basically.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
If they come and talk to me and say, hey, I don't know where this person is on your list, I just ask that you save them. If you can, these would be good people to put up instead of them.
You said that there was somebody who you put their best friend up on the track and they were begging you to not. I assume this will probably make it in. Who was that? And what was going on in your head when that was happening?
So I had Jessica on the track.
Right. Okay.
And she was very close with Yessie. And Yessie she was in my top 10. She was very comforting for me when you were eliminated. She was basically saying, Jessica is my corn. She's my best friend in this game. Please don't eliminate her. But then, like, everyone's telling me their reason for why not to eliminate them. Their reason for being there, competing. And you may think that there are some reasons that are better than others. But at the end of the day, everyone has a reason to be there. I didn't want to think like this person deserves to go on because they have a better reason than this person. I also didn't want it to be taken as like your reason for being here is not as good as their reason.
Right.
I was keeping it as plain and simple. These are the people I know. These are the people I don't know. I'm just going to go down the list as it is. It's going to be tough, but people have to go home.
We got our first taste of it with Lyric, and you just got to realize that, some people had to go home. You just wanted to make sure it wasn't your friends.
We get to the vote. I step forward again because at this point I know I got blood on my hands. If I don't step up, very likely I go home because I'm target number 1 now. I have a Lambo. If I don't go up there, I'm going home for sure. If I don't go up there, I can't guarantee my friends move forward. And then we do the vote, and now Beth was the new captain. And this time there's nothing on the tracks at all. Both tracks are empty. So we know she's not going to get bribed with anything, and she's probably going to have to make a choice between saving these players or saving these players. She gets told to pick two people, and at that point I felt like I already had a Lambo, so I didn't need to be there. I knew it was going to be a tough choice, like having to eliminate someone, and I didn't want to like make it harder for her, so I offered myself as a nominee. I said, Beth, I understand if you pick me. It's no hard feelings. So she picks me, and I was accepting of it because at that point, I was like, I've already done enough damage as it is. Maybe I can do some good here. And then he's really struggling to find a second player. Unfortunately, Colton's name gets called up. At this point, I'm like, I want to do whatever I can to save Colton. So I'm a little torn up. I'm like, oh, not Colton. But I was under the impression we'd be on opposite tracks. So I thought to myself, you have a chance to save him. You're going to tell Beth, please pick me, save Colton. That's all I ask. And then they have Colton join me on the track that I'm on. Then I realized, oh no, we could both be going out here, which I was more broken up about Colton being out than me. I didn't care at that point about myself. I was like, anything I can do to get Colton forward. And then they bring out the mystery player, and it's jersey numbers covered, so we don't have any idea who it is. And then they have Beth bring her favorite contestant left, or her best friend in the game, out, which is Courtney. So Courtney goes on the other side of the tracks. And now Beth has to decide, does she eliminate her best friend in the game, or does she eliminate the two nominees plus this mystery player? Hard to say what was going through Beth's mind, whether she thought it was her or not. Obviously, the case for Colton was, Beth, this is you. This is your mannequin. This is your number. You're going home if you eliminate us. And I obviously didn't have a defense for myself. I wish I'd pleaded harder for Colton's sake. And like the only thing I really said to her was, Beth, that mystery player is probably you. You can get me on the next round, but that mystery player is probably you. She probably thought there was a chance it was random. So she saves Courtney, eliminates me and Colton. Lo and behold, it was Beth's number. And that's kind of where it hit her that she was done. And I don't want to say I was sad at this point because I had already cried so many tears from the previous two rounds. And I kind of accepted that I was going to go home once Beth got elected as captain, and I was fine with it. I was like so done with the day. I was like, I want to be done with this challenge. It's been so tough. I can go home happy. Like I did what I could to get my friends as far as I could. Queen, JC, and Emma were still in at that point. I had Jeff, Patrick, and Gage still in at that point, and so were Yessie and Tawana. So like I couldn't complain that not all of my top 10 were still in. Obviously me and Colton were gone, but I did what I could. I wasn't there to win it for myself. I was there to help someone else get as far as they could. Just a really tough way to do it, I guess.
It happened as it was meant to. You know what I mean? Don't be hard on yourself. Seriously. Like, people had to go home, and you were just looking out for your friends.
I felt like I did what I wanted to do in the show. I always wanted to play the game with my friends and get as far as I could. And money's not everything. It really isn't. It's the people that matter the most. I've competed in so many challenges before, but like I was there for a good time. I wanted to be the Beast champion, but maybe someday.
Hey, there's always season 2, maybe, if they get the green light on it.
Yeah, there's always season 2 if they call me back. If they do, I'll give them a show. I feel like I left a good mark on Beast Games in some way.
Yeah, you are definitely a very impactful and notorious player.
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I mean, I have watched plenty of other game shows. Sometimes these things can bring out the worst in people, and I don't think it necessarily brought out the worst in me. I just think I was put in a tough spot, and
yes, you were put in a really tough spot. Like, that is not easy.
Yeah, and we had to make those choices. People had to go home. There was no skating around it.
Yeah.
I would have just preferred to like duke it out with everyone and like go head to head, earn my spot into the next rounds. I didn't want to take it away from people.
That sucked.
So,
like having to do it like that just is not ideal. What was your official spot?
So I guess getting out with Beth and Colton at the same time, tied for 13th. So tied for 13th out of 2,000 is pretty good.
That's pretty incredible.
I'm not known for getting number one in most challenges. So I'm really good at getting really far. I can tell you that much.
Hey, one of these days it'll work out for you.
One of these days,
What are your feelings overall? You got eliminated. What are your overall Beast Games feelings? Tell me about it.
I mean, it obviously sucks to lose, especially $5 million, but I'm also used to losing. I've lost 1.8 million on Jimmy's YouTube videos alone. Tack on 5 million more. That's gotta be a record somewhere,
Hey, you also gotta tack on the island too, because like you also didn't win the island either.
I didn't win the island, so that's just like to pile it on. So it's pretty significant, but I also do know that in every challenge when I walk away from it, I always try to remember that I did my best. And however I went out is what it is. You can always learn from it and come back from it. I met so many amazing people throughout the games. I just wanted to stay with those people as long as I could. I know that I did my best to help my friends get as far as I could. And I couldn't ask for anything else.
You played an awesome game. You really did. You did some really, really cool things, and you came out with more money than almost everybody there.
True.
So is there anything else you want to say about it?
The last thing I'll say about Beast Games is that if you have ever thought about doing something absolutely insane, something you've never done before, taking a risk, do it, because you're going to have some life experiences that you've never done ever, and you're going to have memories and friendships and so many stories to tell later on. Take it from someone who's been doing this for like 5 years. I have met some of the coolest people in my entire life. I have so many epic stories to tell, and Beast Games was like the biggest one. It tops everything I've done in the past. And if I had a chance to do it all again, I'm signing up 100%. So if any of you want to experience that, maybe it's not Beast Games, maybe it's another reality show, or maybe it's any kind of part of your life, a new job, a new adventure, anything, just take the risk, because the reward later on is going to be so freaking worth it. So that's all I got.
That was so nicely said, Akira. So shout yourself out.
If you want to find me anywhere, Instagram is Akira_Andrews. All other socials are my first and last name. If you happen to be in Washington State, in the Seattle area, hit me up. I got a really cool place I work at.
Where you, where you facilitate fun?
Where I facilitate fun, correct. Outside of that, keep your eyes peeled. Maybe you'll see me in another reality show. Maybe I'll be back for Season 2 of Beast Games. You may see me in another YouTube video. Who knows? Okay, keep calling me. I'll keep coming back.
True. That's awesome. Okay, cool. Yes, please go follow Akira, and Akira will eventually start doing streaming.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm definitely not a streamer, but I want to play games with my friends, and I think it'd be super fun. And maybe people can get to know me a little bit more.
That would be, I think that's a great idea. More on that. More on that. Bye! Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed this little interview I put together. Thank you so much to Akira for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to come and discuss your experience with episode 7. I appreciate it so much. Subscribe, like, comment some questions. I'll do my best to answer, or maybe I'll pull Akira in to help me answer some questions because I probably don't know the answer anymore. I apologize. Come hang out with me on Twitch. I stream on Thursdays, Tuesdays, and Saturdays. I appreciate you all so much. I will see you guys later. Bye, everybody.